Hello. Um, this is my reflection, my first reflection for week 3. So I first kind of wanted to talk about YA in general, and how it's kind of, I feel like there's so many different types of books that fall into the genre of YA, and some of them are geared towards like children, I would say. I mean, like, I think like Harry Potter and those type of books are considered YA. Um, and I feel like that's very much, I mean, not like young children, but like, 8 plus, I would say, type of book. And then there's books like Forever, which we just read, that are definitely geared more towards older kids rather than, I feel like there's definitely a lot of subgenres in YA like there is in any other genre. Um but yeah, we were also talking about how it's kind of sometimes like referred to as a stepping stone for readers, for like children that are growing up, and how that's kind of like demeaning, but also it, like, that's what it is. Pretty much, like, it's not a children's book but also not fully, at the adult reading level. And personally, I like the kind of simpler language that's used. It's just easier for me to like immerse myself in the story rather than thinking about the vocabulary and like references that they're making, in some more like adult books that are much more difficult to read for me. Um, and let's see. Okay, so and then The Outsiders, um, the first book we read, I think I was kind of wondering why, we kind of talked about this in class a little bit, but why it's such a, um, like, important book in, the YA realm. Because, I mean, it was a good book. I liked the book, but I wonder just like why it became so popular and famous that like people are still reading it now, even though it was written like a long time ago. And yeah, and then let's see, in The Outsiders, they talked about, I mean, like the greasers and the socias are the two kind of like social classes that are talked about. And I feel like there's a lot of comparison of like wealthier people versus not non-wealthier people. So like, um and I feel like it kind of shows that there are downsides to both. I mean, it's just like they face different struggles, but like I remember there was one part and I couldn't find it when I was looking through the book, but basically one of the